it's Mar. Today we're going to learn to do a love bouquet. Love bouquet. We're going to need some heart balloons. We're going to need 260s in any color for the stems, and these are also 260s in different colors. And that's it. Before you start twisting, you need to decide if you want the flower base or the ball base, and I will show you both now. For the flower base, you're going to need the heart inflated and a 260, any color you like. Just leave it about 6 fingers uninflated. For a flower base, you need to try to make the petals same size. It's not as important as when you do a flower, because you're basically not going to see the whole flower, but it's always nice to get the same consistent measure. If you measure with your fingers, you can do like 6 finger, that's kind of alright. Then once it's done, all of the bubbles will have 6 fingers, so then you guarantee more or less they will be the same size. We twist and lock it in place. We're going to squish a bit because we always start the balloon with a bit softness, and if you don't squish in between petals, then it's going to be too tight and the size will be different. So we're going to measure again 6 fingers. We twist, and more or less it should be same size. We squish a bit again. We're going to get 6 fingers again, and we do. The more petals you create, the more difficult it will be to measure it. Make sure you measure it from the center and not from where you can actually reach. So we squish. You can see I'm not doing like that, which is where the balloon let me go. I'll go a bit farther, and we measure 6 fingers again. And now it gets trickier and trickier to twist, so open it a bit and make sure it goes into the center. You open it and then roll. So we have 4 petals for now. We make sure we get to where the balloon starts. Squish, measure 6 fingers. Now find a gap. We put it here, open this, twist around, and now we do the same. We're going to do a 6 flower petal. No, we're going to do a 6 petal flower. We find where it starts. We measure 6 fingers. We already squished the balloon before. And now that's the 6th one, is a tricky one. But we'll find a place. We'll find the gap, put it here. Try to get it as closer to the center as possible. Go round and round. Hopefully by this point, you don't have any more air. Just squish it, stretch it, but it should not have any air if you measure 6 fingers at the beginning and the balloon is a bit soft. If you don't manage to do 6, it's not a flower, it's a flower base, so 5 petals is absolutely fine. We're going to rearrange them so they are all in different positions. We're going to make sure the folded part is all touching each other. Folded part with the folded part. We do the same. More or less, they should all have the same size. Sometimes if we don't squish enough, squish too much, then we don't measure it from the center. It may be that the petals, they look different. So there are lots of different ways to measure it. That's one way I do it. Now we need the top part, which is the heart. It's very important to know how to inflate a heart to get the best shape. I am going to use my electric inflator. This is from Terence Balloons. I want the balloon to be fully inflated, but not to the point that it will burst, just a bit before. And I'm going to give it a bit of shape in a minute. So at the moment, it's fully inflated. You can see the shape is there, but I don't want it too inflated. So as soon as we start deflating a bit, it loses a bit of the shape. So we're just going to find the center, press the center a bit there, and it creates, that's nicer. It expands the size, so it's a bit nicer on the eye. and that's the shape you want, and it's really squishy. And now we tie it. We still have the same shape. We get our base, we find the center. Best thing to do to get a really good attachment is not to put it like that. We're going to connect it like this, So we're gonna do like this. You say, that is weird. Yes, just bear with me. And now we give it a bit of put everything back together. And now we connect it from here. So we're going to go round and round. We're going to turn the balloon until we get to the next, like this. Now when we come here, see how beautifully connected it is? It's inside, in the center. We don't see the connection, and it's very, very good from every side, you can see. That's a very beautiful way to do it. It's always connected on the opposite way, so when you turn it to get to the position you actually want it to be, that's perfectly connected. There's no gaps, it's no, you know, it's not going anywhere. This is not going anywhere, it stays in its place. For the bow base, we are going to need 1 hair balloon, and we also need a 260 inflated again, about 6 fingers. We're going to squish the balloon. This needs to be a bit soft, and we're going to make 2 bubbles, about 2 finger bubbles. Okay, 1 2-finger bubble, another 1 2-finger bubble. We have these 2. We're going to connect them together. Make sure this point and this point, they are as close as possible so we don't leave gaps. The way we do it, we squish it together and we twist. Just to make sure you will secure the connection, we're going to pass the nozzle through both of them. And we roll the bubbles. If you put it here and then you roll the bubbles, it comes out this way. It's all fully locked. You see, connection is good. It's not going anywhere. And now we're going to make pinch twist from these 2. What we do is just the same. We roll this balloon around them like this. We hold the top and the bottom part with this finger, and we just let the balloon do the work. I like to also do a little bit of twist at the end to make sure they are really tight there. Now what we're going to do is 2 loops, 1 in each side. We're going to squish now. You see now the tail is getting shorter because we're moving the air from here to the end of the balloon. We're going to make sure we get a small one. I say about 6 fingers, like the other petals that we did on the petal base. It's good. That's the bubble. We put this together. So I had it like that. I'll bend it, make sure this and this is at the same time. And now I can do different things. You can twist this, or you can pass it through here. Just keep twisting, and automatically it just creates the loop. And now we have the 2 pinch twist, and we have the loop. We're going to do this other one in the same way we did this first. We squish first, and now you see it's very little left. And now we're going to measure 6 fingers. We make the bubble here. Now we're going to do the same. We're going to bend this. Make sure this is at the same level as this. We get it as close as possible, and then we're going to twist this through those both pinch twists. And you can see now the bow. Now there's a little bit here, but as soon as we squish, it's gone. And that's what we want. We want a long stem because we want the stem to reach different areas, because it is a layer bouquet. And we're going to position the pinch twist in this direction, not in that direction, it's in this direction. And the loops where you can see both folds. Same tip like before, don't connect it here, connect it there. So we're going to get it as close as we can. We're going to pass this through. And now this one is here, is going that way, see? So we're going to go this other way. We keep rolling and rolling until I get here. Sometimes it could be a bit too loose, then you can keep rolling a bit more. I'm happy with how it looks. If you can see, what I'm trying to do here is that the heart goes into this shape here. So sometimes just put the loops a bit higher and it's actually on this place. Sometimes it looks a bit like that. It means put the heart in between the pinch twists, and then the loops just hold this pinch twist and go up a bit to accommodate. Oh, so there. Nice, good. To accommodate the heart, which goes into the space that is left there. And that's how you do it. Now that you know which one you want to create, you will need to create 6 of each. To create the leaf, you'll need 2 balloons, 2 60s, one inflated to 6 fingers, and the other one inflated to about 9 fingers. We're going to start with the one inflated to 9 fingers. We're going to make 3 pinch twists. The way to do it, we're going to create 2 bubbles, same way as we did with the bow. Make sure this and this are close together. Now twist while you keep the tension here. Pass this nozzle through by rolling. Now we get this around. I like to give it a bit of a twist there. We make the last pinch twist. We squish first, we want it soft. Make a 2-finger bubble in all of them. And we're going to hold the bubble here. And we're going to make sure this and this are as close as possible. And then we're going to, I'll show you. We're going to twist together. Another way, if you have the bubble already, see where it came from. My one came from here. So I can go the other way and I just have to hold the bubble here and roll around. If I just roll around, it may be an easier way for you. And now we're just going to position the bubbles like this. 2 on this part and 1 on the top. And now we're going to do the next one. We're going to create a 1-finger bubble. Now we squish. And we're going to make a small loop. Like about 2 fingers loop. Let's have a look. 3 fingers loop. 2.5 fingers loop, I would say. Like a tiny one. Now we have 2 loops, 2.5 finger loops. We're going to make a pinch twist on the back. We make a 2 fingers bubble. We're going to just do the same technique. We find where it comes from. My one comes from here. I'm going to go through here. Just go roll around. The folds at the top. The pinch twist on the back. And it forces them to get together. And it looks so much better. We're going to continue this step and every loop will be bigger. We're going to make 1-finger bubble again. Now we make 2 loops. So as they were like this big, I'll make them just a bit bigger. We squish and we make another one. And the same, we make another pinch twist here. 2-finger bubble. Find out where it came from. It came from down, so I'm going to go, it came from here, so I'm going to go this way. Hold the bubble and twist. Oh, 1 second. Like I felt it lost some air, so I'll do it again. Now I twist a few times and then I hold it and then I go round. That forces these bubbles to get together. So on this side it looks like that. On this side it looks like this. We get that the balloon is really tough and we don't really need any more of this balloon. Before we get rid of the excess, let's have this ready. Remember that this one had about 6 fingers uninflated. We're going to connect the nozzle here. We keep twisting around until it's very well connected. Now both look really well connected. And at this point, we get rid of this very carefully. The way to do it, you make a small bubble. You can use your finger, you can use the scissors. Get rid of it. It pops and it doesn't matter because we hold with the fingers here. We let the air go slowly. And now it will not have the risk of popping the whole balloon. We wrap around a bit and we're going to cut the excess. We only need one more extra loop for this arrangement, so we're going to make 1 finger bubble. We squish and we make a bigger loop, bigger than this one. Definitely bigger than that one. Just trying for them to look more of the same. And we just need to do the 2-finger bubble to make a pinch twist again. Let's rearrange everything. I like it like this. That is our lovely leaf. We'll need 2 of these. Now that we have all of the balloons ready, we have to assemble the bouquet. If you are enjoying the video, please like it, subscribe and share with your friends. That would help my channel a lot. Thank you. We need a 160. We're going to remove all the air from inside, tie a knot, and now we're going to wrap around all of this. We're going to wrap this around. This is an 8-stem bouquet. If you decide to do a 20-flower bouquet or any larger, you may need to use more than one tied to each other, so then it wraps around and it doesn't squish too much that it gets to break the balloons. Once it's like that, they're not going anywhere, and now we can rearrange them. For this style of bouquet, we want to create 3 layers. The first one with 1 balloon, the second one will have 2 balloons, and the third one will have 3 balloons. And then the stems will be placed on the back as a filler. So I have arranged it this way. For this example, I'm using the ones we already made before, and I made new ones with the bow, but I'm using this as an example. I would prefer to just use the same base for all of them, so it is easier to rearrange. But for this example, this would be sufficient. I have decided that this is how I want to be arranging the flowers, and as you can see, even if I have it like that, like you see, this is overlapping, it's just on top of the other one. This is like a bit like that. So I have a solution for how to organize it in a better way, and that is to use glue dots. Glue dots are an excellent way to make sure they don't move along the way. Once I position one balloon, when I go to the next layer, they usually start to move around. By the time I go on the back, they are already in a different position, and it's quite annoying. You also want, when the customer gets this bouquet, to be able to get good photos. You want them to look the best, and for that, glue dots are the solution. We'll start from the top layer. We're going to get those 3 balloons that we positioned already. I know where they go, so I'm just going to grab them out of here. I'm going to position it how I want them to look. Once I have these 2 hearts, I'll get the other blue in a minute. We're going to find where they connect, and then I'm going to put a balloon glue dot there. As they are both 6 flower petals, I'll make sure that 3 are in the front and 3 are on the back. And now these 2 will connect with these 2, and I will put a double glue dot on those. I'm going to do it in front of you now so you can see what I'm doing. We get the glue dot. If I position the stems together, we'll see this and this connect together here. So I'll put this one here. Just make sure it's in the same position as I wanted it. Make sure they are at the same height. They all look the same, not one taller than the other. We push a bit against each other, just a few seconds, and that is all glue. Now, to avoid this situation where they move around, I also put another one here so it can't do that. We're going to put another one on this area. We go on the back, find where they connect, put this one there. If we give it a bit of wrap to make it a bit warmer, it usually sticks better. Get this off. Make sure again that is level, one heart and the other one. Oh, it's a bit not too great. There you go. We hold this for a few seconds, and now we have it. Once we have it like this, we need to check that the hearts are facing the right way. You could do that now, or you could do that at the end, because these are always going to be able to move. But as the connection we made was really tight, they will not move freely, but you can move them. So we get this. I see this is good. This is facing that way, so I'll move it a bit. And look at how cute. We're going to make the other ones as well. As in this case, I did different bases. That's the flower base, and this is the bow base. It may be a bit trickier to connect them together, but remember, if you have 2 bows, the only thing you need to do is to connect this bow with the other one. Before I stick this one, I wanted to emphasize the importance of having a leveled layer. If you put this balloon a bit farther here, just so you create perhaps a better connection, what happens is it doesn't look good. So you make sure all of the hearts are leveled this way, but also leveled this way. You need to make sure when you put the balloons together, as well as the level, you also need to check that the stem, when they get together, it creates that shape. Otherwise, you will stick it like this. You think it's level. Once you do that, it just doesn't look leveled anymore. So first thing, try to get them together here and then see what it goes. See if it's leveled. Let me just check. So there you go. I think that's it. It means that this one and that one will be just in the same. In this example, it may look slightly different because the bases are not the same. For the purpose of this tutorial, that should do good. That should be good enough. And now we go to do the second layer. For the second layer, I want these 2 balloons together, put these 2 stems together, connect them, make sure they are leveled. And now we put the sticky dots here, the glue dots, Oh, 1 second, not yet. And just like a perfect kiss. Perfect. It's quite a personal choice. For me, I'm happy when I can take just a tiny bit of the base. That is perfect for me. I like it. You play around because that's where the fun is. So now that we have this here, we're going to get this attached to the one on the back. The reason why I prefer the base like this is because when you have a layered bouquet, it's quite a flat surface, so it's not pushing this hard forward. And you can see I just attached this one with this with the glue dot. It's perfect, doesn't bother. I have a problem with this one now, as this is that other base, the flower base. What happens is if I try to push it here, it's pushing my heart forward. Well, when you look at it on the front, it changes the perception. So I can't attach it there, and it's going to make it look different. I could go a bit lower and attach it here, then the base you can see on the bottom, which is probably what I'm going to be doing now. But that is the difference. If you put these bases, you may want to leave a bit more space so the heart doesn't distort the shape because it's not pushed forward. You could also attach this, the center of the back. I'm going to put 2 glue dots, 1 in each side, get all that together, and they don't move around. They are not going anywhere. That is good. We're going to find where to put it. Okay, I think that is good. I'll leave a link for the glue dots in the description below. I buy them from Amazon. There are other great materials specific for balloons that you can buy, like balloon bond or glue dashes. I just have these. I bought tons of them when I started. I still have some of them, so I'm using them. But I have also tried the other brands, and they are all great. So it's your choice. Let's go to do the leaves now. I like them to be, I usually bend them like that, and then once I bend them like that, I massage this a bit, and this is what I look for. Maybe just doing a bit less, and seems to be good. We can just stick it here, and then that's where we put the glue dots. You get no pinch twist, no pinch twist, put them together like a kiss, and then you measure where, and then just do the same. And when you open them, they're all in each direction. It's one point where you can put the dot. It's just filling the back. It's kind of creating a background, which is amazing for this bouquet because it makes it bigger. The volume is better. The texture, because obviously there are leaves, they're different shapes, and you can show your skills of twisting there too. Now we're going to glue this part on the bouquet. You want the eyes to go and focus on here, so while it opens, it's like literally pointing at the center, everything, yeah. And now for the last part, we're going to do some decoration to hollow this together. We will need 2 balloons, 1 balloon inflated to 3 fingers uninflated, and the other balloon quite disinflated, so the other balloon inflated to about 11 to 12 fingers. For bubbles, we need a lot of space for the air to travel. We're going to start with this one. We're going to make a small bubble. We're going to get our bouquet, I'll show you from the back. We just created this bubble here, and then we're going to wrap around. We find it, we make it quite tight, but obviously not break the balloon. And once we find this, we're going to twist here. We're going to get this one and wrap around. Now we have done this, that's the first one. We are now going to create 2 small bubbles of 1 finger bubbles. We need another 1 finger bubble. Now we're going to squish, and we're going to go and wrap around again. Make sure you don't let this go. We make a little bubble at the end, and we're going to connect it after the 2 bubbles before the long one. We put it here, pass it through, and we do it again on the other side. That's what we have. To make it a bit cleaner, we're going to make this into a pinch twist. And that is very pretty and clean on the back. For the bubbles, we're going to create a small bubble first. We're going to put that bubble here. We put it through. And that we're going to wrap around. Once we make the bubbles will stay in place because it has an attachment point already. I will hold it here so they don't come undone. And we have all these bubbles. Look how pretty. Ew. And now we wrap around. We're going to make sure these are placed inside. We go around. Make sure they are the same level as these 2. Go here, and as you can see, I did too many bubbles. Not problem at all. So I measure where I want to be. If I put these here, you see what happened there? It's starting to poke out. So what I do, instead of using this bubble, I do 1 less. So at this point, I don't mind to let it go. As long as this last bubble, I don't let it go. So we go around. A few times, and now they're not going to go anywhere. We're going to cut the excess. We make it into a pinch twist. And we hide the nozzle. When you do these bases, these tend to be shorter. We could replace this with a new balloon so it can actually go through. And we're going to push it up a bit until it reaches where the leaves are. And now the only thing left with this beautiful bouquet, this is the shorter, so that's where I'm going to cut them all. So let's going to give you this an example. We have this one, then you can stop it here, let the air go, we tie the knot, we're going to cut the excess, and now we have this beautiful bouquet for Valentine's. I just did obviously random colors so you can see what you can create, and there you go. Now you're ready to make someone's day and make them happy. I hope I made you happy. If you enjoyed this tutorial, please like the video, share with your friends, subscribe to my channel so I can do more content for you. Have a lovely day and keep twisting.